Hello and welcome back to another review. Today we'll be looking at Death's Door and answering the question, should you play it? As usual, I'll be keeping spoilers to an absolute minimum and only showing footage from the first 2 hours or so of gameplay. What I'll be sharing with you comes from notes I took along the way and my final thoughts after completing the game. Death's Door is a 3D platforming Souls-like. For those not familiar with the term Souls-like, it's a reference to the Dark Souls series of games and other titles made by From Software. Another way that I like to think of it is simply Zelda on steroids. Among other things, Souls-likes are known for their emphasis on combat, the use of a roll or dodge, and requiring players to learn enemy attack patterns to defeat them. They also have a reputation of being on the more difficult side, with the feat of overcoming challenges being rewarding. And it's true, there's nothing quite like struggling on a boss fight for hours and the feeling you get from finally defeating it. Death's Door is no exception. Combat is a main focus and it feels good. Controls are tight and easy to learn, but hard to master. You start with a sword, the ability to dodge roll and shoot arrows. Enemy encounters feel rhythmic and well-timed. As you progress, you can find new items and abilities, as well as upgrades to your character's attributes. This gives some flexibility to the player to choose their own playstyle, whether it's melee combat or magic spells. However, it's important to note that a healthy balance should be found, since using spells consumes magic points, and magic points can be refilled with melee attacks, either when you hit enemies or by breaking environmental objects like wooden crates and ceramic jars. Besides combat, another major aspect of the game is the world, the story, and the characters in it. I have to admit that I was pleasantly surprised by the depth of writing, and especially the development of NPCs. The world feels alive and interconnected, both in the physical design and in the significance of the characters that inhabit it. There are dozens of optional items whose descriptions reveal more pieces of the lore of this world. You can really see the vision of the game come together by exploring, finding secrets, and talking to everyone you meet. So far, things are sounding pretty good, but is there any cause for concern to know about before you jump in? The answers will depend on what you like in a game. For one, there's no New Game Plus cycle. Some of the achievements required for 100% are missable, which means if you didn't get them while the opportunity was there, you would need to start a brand new file without all your hard-earned upgrades and loot. While this to me feels like a missed opportunity, I will say that Death's Door has an incredible amount of post-game content. That is, lots of extras that you can complete after defeating the final boss, as well as a secret ending to be found. There are lots of secrets, and in order to hide all these secrets, the worlds are large, arguably sometimes too large. I often found myself wandering around and going in circles looking for secrets, and wishing for a little bit more in terms of obvious landmarks to help stay oriented. There's no map, but the game's hub world does give you a good visual indicator of which areas still have unfound secrets or collectibles in them. The main story is fairly linear. Areas are locked behind skills, so while you can sometimes reach new areas early, you will have to come back later to fully explore them. This may not be a big deal to some, while fans of a more open world might feel let down. Taking all of this into consideration, should you play Death's Door? Well, I think this game is not necessarily for everyone. The cartoonish appearance could be misleading. Make no mistake, this game does get quite difficult at times, and I say that as a fan of Dark Souls. If you look forward to a challenge and increasing your own skill as a player, then Death's Door will definitely give you a run for your money. And finally, if you have already played and enjoyed Tunic, I think you'll like Death's Door too. The two games have plenty in common, from combat and puzzles to an isometric and cozy art style. And like Tunic, this is a game that even after completing it, it'll be on my mind for quite some time. I hope you enjoyed the review and consider hitting like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.